the engineering and political challenge of decarbonization is so massive that it requires a degree of political will and commitment of resources and everything that is also lacking. So it's kind of like we have this information war, which is the thing that you're kind of criticizing in your article, Holly, which fills the space where political will would be.
Yeah, that's what I found so interesting about this particular moment when we did have, for the first time in a while, significant capital in the US context with legislation around infrastructure. It's like, okay, now we have some funds, we can go build the stuff. And then why was the discussion, at least the most high profile discussion, really focusing on the evil oil companies when actually this is a moment that we could seize and think seriously about the roadmap for how do we capitalize on this initial investment to try to drive further investments down the line.
Milan ou Tripoli, Vilnius ou Benghazi, Paris, Moscou, on fait le bunga, bunga, Bangkok ou Bogota, Le Caire ou Jakarta, Gustavia, on fait le bunga, bunga, Stockholm ou Monaco, ou Montevideo, Oslo, Tokyo, on fait le bunga, bunga.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BungaCast, the global politics podcast at the end of history. I'm Alex Hochuli in São Paulo, Brazil, as usual. And today joining me is regular contributor Lee Phillips, who's producing this session, and also delighted to be joined by Holly Jean Buck, who's assistant professor of environment and sustainability at the University of Buffalo in New York. Hi, Holly.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for joining us. So today we're talking about climate disinformation. I'm going to say a little word about that in just a second. To just continue introducing Holly, her first book was After Geoengineering, Climate Tragedy, Repair and Restoration, which explores best and worst case scenarios for climate intervention. And her latest book, also published by Verso, is Ending Fossil Fuels, Why Net Zero is Not Enough, which investigates the concept of net zero and negative emissions technologies. We're going to get into a bit of that as well as we go along today. But first of all, a few weeks ago, Jacobin published an essay by Holly critiquing the climate movement's emphasis on combating disinformation. A quote from the stand first here. Much of the climate movement is now pouring its energies into combating disinformation, but this focus fails to address real concerns about a green transition and obscures what is needed to win the public over to effective climate action. The essay seems to have caused a stir on, I guess, climate Twitter, but also far beyond just activists. And it hit a nerve with, I guess, some people feeling like it really said something they had on their minds, but hadn't expressed yet, while it drew outrage from other quarters. Maybe just one final kind of contextual note before we probably get started and bring Holly in. This is all in the context, I think, as listeners will probably know as well, of a growing focus from authorities on combating disinformation in general, not just in relation to climate. So I believe that this conversation, or I'm looking forward to hearing from Holly, perhaps how this question of disinformation and the focus on combating it in relation to climate might have relevance to other questions of political communication, information war, and actually to quite deep questions about whether we understand politics as a matter of competing interests, competing material interests, if it's about ethics or if it's about something else entirely. So I'd like to bring Holly in now and stop blathering. Your training's in sociology, Holly, but you've specialized in aspects of politics and society around questions of geoengineering, in particular solar radiation management, carbon capture and storage, and carbon dioxide removal, and other decarbonization technologies. So I don't know what most of those terms mean, or maybe I could have a sense of what they are, but wouldn't be able to give you a good definition. So maybe you can help us out just to set us up with the terms that we might need for this discussion, Holly.
So I've been thinking about geoengineering for about 15 years now.
Hi there, friends. This is the end of a sample from an episode available only to subscribers at patreon.com/bungacast. For $7 a month, subscribers get at least 4 original exclusive episodes a month, featuring Alex, George, and Phil, as well as our regular contributors, Alex Gurovich, Amberly Frost, Catherine New, and Lee Phillips. We've got episodes on current affairs, extended interviews, exclusive episodes on theory, history, culture, docuseries, analyses of film, and our responses to listeners' questions and criticisms. And for $12 a month, you also get access to the very special BungaCast Reading Club, where we present the key books and essays necessary for understanding the world today, how we got here, and where we might be going. Of course, if you just want to try us out, there's also a $3 entry tier giving you one exclusive episode a month. We do hope you'll join us. These are turbulent times, and ideologically confused ones as well. We tried to find some political clarity so that we might move beyond the age of bunga bunga.
Dakar ou Brasilia,